Hello, I'm the official name reader. My job is to re-record my intro because the HyperX Cloud headset is overly sensitive and unplugs if you're just even a millimeter too short, and we are supposed to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then I give my recommendations at the end. Today is for Hippopotas and Hippowdon. I have looked at this before, a year, maybe 2 years ago, when I did my White 2 randomizer, and I remember it being kind of a bust. But I do have a few notes already of nicknames I've seen in previous threads, so we'll see how different things are. So naturally, the quality here isn't going to be any good or worth talking about, but it's our job to make fun of this guy. Sahara, we see this all the time. It's just a very basic name. I think it makes sense, for Cacturn. And you could put it on Hippowdon because I would assume it's more sand than dirt, but I get it, it's just a very common one. And then Sandy is a bad Pokemon nickname because Sandy was the name of the fucking girl I graduated university with. It's just a basic name of a basic person. You don't use that as a name, it's boring and dumb. Angry Hippo is just kind of Hungry Hippo, but not. And he doesn't give credit to Hungry Hippos. He tries to act like he came up with it himself. And I think if you're going to do that, just do Hungry Hippos. Don't try and change it, make yourself seem different or smart or whatever, and just come up with something dumb. And then Earthshaker's dumb too. Nas basically made a comment suggestion of, I'll be surprised if you don't see Hippopotatoes. It's not technically Hippopotatoes, but it's close. I'll still keep an eye out for you though. Below that, though, I'm going to acknowledge this one just because we talked about the Purple Monkey dishwasher for Ambipom, so it's only fair to talk about this for Hippowdon. Again, both of those references, they're completely out of my mind. Once I finish watching the Pokemon anime, which I've been very, very lazy about as of recent, I'm going to look through all the Simpsons stuff. Well, I'm going to watch Simpsons until they start getting bad. So, stuff like this will be interesting for me because, I don't remember this joke at all. Do I care for it as an idea? I mean, no, not really, but, sure, whatever. See, I hate this because Gloria's instinctively the first thing my mind goes to as well, and I basically expected to see this because it's just so obvious. But Gloria, like Sandy, is just some random girl's name. It's not good as an idea for a nickname. I think if you're going to pick anyone from Madagascar, Melman's probably the one that's least likely to be inside your science class. Now, I did see motomoto in the Reddit thread, and I didn't get it, so I just ignored it. But I also remember, nothing of Madagascar, too. I also didn't expect to literally go back to Madagascar right after talking about it. So that's at least a name that's more associated with Madagascar than random students in your class. Well, this kind of brings up at least an interesting thing of the nicknames are the same upon evolution's line. If it exists, there's a wiki for it. I didn't know there was a Pokemon Go wiki. I'm not honestly surprised. And yes, this kind of follows the same thing. All of the suggestions here on the first page of Google are bad. But it's weird because I have other names written down from other previous threads that weren't about Hippowdon that are much better nicknames. Firstly, spreadsheet's empty apparently. I thought it was just loading, but I guess not. So let's look at the other ones that are actually good. So I saw Oasis in the past, and I mean the band, also just Oasis is usually another thing associated with deserts. It's an okay nickname, worth talking about, not much else extra. Although I don't particularly care for the idea of Hungry Hippo or Hungry Hippo, it's not going to all fit. As a nickname, I completely understand it, so I get that. And do you remember how I said, I didn't think about Garchomp as a big old bitey boy? That's because I think of Garchomp, the first thing I think about are his, claws, so to speak. I think that's more of a defining feature for Garchomp than his teeth. As to where Hippowdon is a big old bitey boy with a big bitey mouth. So something I hate the nickname and I probably wouldn't use it, Jawsome would fit better. Another one that someone else suggested was Captain Crunch. That is good for a bitey Pokemon like Hippowdon. Boom, that's perfect. There you go. You could also look at the Feraligatr episode, because I know we talked about more bitey-based names, and I think Mawile might also have some. I don't honestly remember if Sharpedo did, but anything with a clear defining jaw or something along those lines, those could apply to Hippowdon as well. And the one I personally use, which I don't know how I found it since I didn't find it here, but I guess the links are different. I saw someone say landmine, and I was like, it's nothing special, but you know what? It's the best thing we found thus far. So that was the one I personally went with. It was the one that I liked the most, and I give it maybe like a 6, 7 out of 10 at best. But in the vein of landmine, you could also do things like, because I was going to the Nick Finder and was typing in land, and it was like landmaster, landlord, and I was like, well, those are technically 2 other land jokes you could do if you wanted to. And although I get the whole land shark thing for Garchomp, like, that's cool if it weren't for the fact that that's literally what it was, so the joke is kind of wasted. That was why I didn't say anything about land shark. But that's it. Google itself didn't have anything. Actually, hold on, one last thing. I forgot comments, suggestions. We didn't see hippopotatoes, we only just saw regular potatoes. So, this fucked me up because I didn't know the Hungry Hungry Hippos had nicknames. But these are all just the names of the Hungry Hungry Hippos, and that's it. And again, these are all just the names of regular ass people, so I kind of don't give a fuck. But I guess for just the trivia of, hey, now you know that they have names, there you go. Any other ideas you have, feel free to put in the comments below. Give a thumbs up to the ones that you think are good. Advice, anything that involves like teeth or bite or something like that's a good way to go. Or any sort of land jokes you could have in the same vein of landmine or something like that. Just something to consider if you can come up with some sort of wordplay like that. But whatever else you've got, feel free to let us know. Whatever you've used, let us know. Hungry Hungry Hippos have names.